Hi, family. The mic was muted. I was all typing in, can you hear me? But the mic was muted. Shame on me. Welcome to the Black Bear Broadcast. I'm your host, Brother Raven. Let's see if we can start a fantastic show. Good show today. Could be long, could be short. It's up to you. Big up, Brother Qatari, for telling me no. You can hear me now. Excellent. Killer speed of a millipede. Fantastic. All right. So, what is today's show? Let me see if I can find a PDF that I just made not too long ago. Yeah, it's a good. We're following from last week's show about and this actually is connected, definitely connected. Definitely, it's almost a continuous saga from the black man and black woman interaction that it was triggered by a gentleman, a comedian, crashing out on the internet, saying a lot of terrible stuff towards black women. But then it's part of a bigger problem which we're going to unpack now, and the history of it, and we're going to tackle this preference thing as well as mental health or health in general as it connects to racism. So this is a 262nd show, and you would know that if I could actually upload the picture, which is here. Don't forget, tell a friend, we're live. This show is for the black community. You're all welcome to come in. As long as you're constructive and try to find solutions, you may come. Aha. This is for us. We've made it. Let me get rid of that thing there so you can't. There you go. All right. So, don't forget the Black Betterment building Instagram. Don't forget to follow that. I haven't finished designing the question we're going to ask towards the two things that black men would like black women to review and work on, and the two things that black women would like men. Or did I say women before? I can't remember. To work on. All right, let's not forget about the retroactive expectations, and this is pretty much thinking about the community of the past, the things that happen in our community. They call them Arthur, tragic stuff, and because of those things happen, we have to remember them. We have to reconnect. We have to repair. We have to rebuild. So we have to remember the atrocities inflicted upon the ancestors and the community in the past, and present, and behave in a way that reflects this. That's what we're doing here. Reconnect with black people locally and globally, and form networks to teach each other about the different cultures. That's what we're doing. And repair the black community from historical trauma that causes self-hate challenges and health issues. Well, that's what we're talking about today. And rebuild the black family, black economics, and black nations. That's right. So that's retroactive expectations, also known as ancestral obligations or community commitments. And these concepts is something that we should all try to have. I strongly recommend, but sometimes you need a help to do those things. And that help comes in the form of Black Betterment. That's right. And that's what we promote here. We promote Black Betterment, a lifestyle of black people, continuously helping black people. There you go. Big up Millionaire Goddess, and big up Golden Black 189. Big up everyone in the house who are live, and those who will not be live, who watch the video after it goes up. Right, cool. So, what we're dealing with. Don't forget discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. These are the 4D values. If you're going to come on the show, try to practice those. It makes finding solutions just that little bit more easier. Yes, it does. Indeed. All right. Try to use derogatory language. I know it's very hard for many because so many of us, we're it's everyday language. When we're happy, we use derogatory terms. When we're sad, we use derogatory terms. And then sometimes we're arguing. We don't even know we're arguing because we're using the same lingo. So we try to be constructive terms when we're here. And then, maybe go back to that when you're alone. But when we're trying to find solutions, let's have descriptive language and not derogatory language. Sounds like a plan. Yes, it does. All right. Cool. So what's today's topic? So we have health and racism connections. We discussed the connections between racism and the poor health within the black community. Very nice. And the preference or internalized racism. We discussed how internalized racism could be at the heart of many black men's preference. That's a very important one. That's technically what this is about. The mental health one, never mental health, just health in general. There's a brother from St. Lucia, but I think he lives in America. And I've got some of his videos, but it's very good to unpack. So we'll look at that. Big up, Jeff. So let me see. I'm going to start this. Don't forget, tell a friend we're live. Let me see what videos to play first, just to set up the scene. Is that brother? There was one that might be good. Let me see. Let's hold on.
State?
No, sir. Let's see. I'm just going to go for the
state.
I was no.
Black.
No. Got a lot.
Peace, black.
Yeah, let's have this one. This is brother Pan African bro.
Family. So in the words of our late great ancestor Kwame Ture, if a white man wants to lynch me, that's his problem. If he's got the power to lynch me, that's my problem. Racism is not a question of attitude. It's a question of power.
Very important point there, you know. If a white man wants to lynch me, that's his problem. If he's got the power to lynch me, that's my problem. That's a very important quote there.
Now follow me on this one. In Nana, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's
very important ancestor, very important lady, very important. Don't forget to get her book, The ISIS Papers.
The ISIS Paper. She says, my interest in the phenomenon of racism has resulted from my awareness of the negative impact this destructive system has on the lives and behavior of the vast majority of people on this planet who are non-white and who are the victims of this power system. She goes on to say in the paragraph, in 1969, the Black Claws of Psychiatrists came together and said the number one mental health issue in the United States is racism. Just for clarification, she wrote this in 1976. And in 1969, they stated the number one mental health crises in this nation is caused by racism.
Very important that, you know, we culturalize, get used to this concept of this idea, this reality of racism, but it actually, the ongoing concept, the ongoing thing, ongoing internal and external challenges, these will add to how you perceive the world and how you react in the world. And this obviously is going to help conclude my conclusion of certain things, of why there's certain things we just can't really say we have anymore because we live in a world like this, but we'll get there in the end.
Dr. David Williams, who is originally from the Caribbean island of St. Lucia.
Big up all the brothers and sisters from St. Lucia. Big up all you guys.
Is a professor of public health at Harvard and chairman of its Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences. He has spent a quarter century researching the corrosive impact that racism has on the health of people of color all around the world. You have conducted rigorous psychological, sociological, scientific studies of this phenomenon.
That's correct. We've done studies in South Africa, their colleagues doing studies in Australia, studies in the UK, studies across the world, and we find in all of these contexts, empirically.
A lot of the videos we show is people who are identified as black. So whether it's America, Canada, wherever, as long as you're identified as black, that means anti-black racism can exist, and that's internalized anti-black racism can also exist. So that's why this black thing is worldwide.
Statistically, that experiences of discrimination are directly impacting health.
Can something as complex and subjective as racial discrimination really be measured? Williams insists it can, with a test that he created nearly 25 years ago. What is the Everyday Discrimination Scale?
The Everyday Discrimination Scale is a measure, a 9-item measure. It has items like you're treated with less courtesy than others, you're treated with less respect than others, you receive poorer service than others in restaurants or stores, people act as if they're afraid of you. It's little ways in which your dignity is chipped away on a daily basis. And what we are finding is that persons who score high on the Everyday Discrimination Scale have a broad range of adverse health conditions. It predicts high blood pressure. It predicts the onset of diabetes.
These are very big issues in the black community.
Predicts incident cardiovascular disease. It predicts poorer mental health.
These are big issues, it seems, all over the black diaspora.
Predicts poorer mental health. Predicts poorer mental health.
Professor Williams has demonstrated that the health of Black Americans suffers, whether they are rich or poor, well-educated or not.
He's saying that, you know, regardless of rich or poor, well-educated or not, being identified as black seems to have a challenge.
Black women with college degrees are more likely to see their babies die as infants.
Very interesting, terrible news, very interesting, because you're going to see parallels in some films we're showing, but this is also very interesting.
Than white women who didn't finish high school. Another stark example, the 1970 graduating class at Yale. The black graduates were 3 times more likely to die prematurely than their white classmates.
That's correct. I mean, that's the magnitude of some of the racial disparities in health we see.
Just to make this abundantly clear, A black man or woman with a college degree, making a lot of money, is less well off, health-wise, than a white man or woman in the same category under the same circumstance?
Absolutely.
David Williams' research shows that even when treated in the same healthcare settings, Black Americans are less well cared for than whites.
If we can improve the living conditions of individuals, we actually can improve their health. Let me give you an example of a study that was done years ago where they took African Americans who lived in public housing, and randomly, by the flip of a coin, some of them remain in public housing and some of them were given a voucher where they could go and find housing in areas of lower levels of poverty than when they currently were. Research shows 10 to 15 years later, those African Americans who moved to a better neighborhood had lower rates of obesity and lower diabetes risk. No health intervention.
In conclusion, integration, aka colonization, is slowly unaliving the mental, physical, and spiritual aspects of what it means to be Black. We have to separate.
So this is a very thanks for the brother. But this is why having a lifestyle baked into culture is important, where you're aware of these things and you're constantly trying to improve and have certain motivational things and economic stuff and each one teach one philosophies that makes this reality more palatable, and also find solutions constantly. But once again, if you don't have those things in place, you're probably going to suffer at a higher rate at most of the challenges that was described in the video. So that's interesting because that was in America. Hit the like button, everyone. There was another thing. I think this is UK. I'm hoping this one can be played. Let me check over.
Peace be.
Shocking reality. This is Instagram, so hopefully I don't mess up.
Reality now that your skin color can impact.
Now this is obviously 2020. This is England now, right? So let's see if a similar thing is said.
Whether you or your baby survives on a maternity ward in this country. The latest data shows Black women are 2.3 times more likely to die during or in their first year.
Very similar. That was a similar number to what was happening in the States. And I guess if we look at Africa as a continent, that's a different thing altogether. But that would be interesting as well. But that's a different motivation of what we cause in that. But overall,
year after pregnancy than white women. Today, MPs looking into the issue say its investigation has found repeatedly that racism is one of the core drivers of poor maternal care. It's urging maternity bosses to train their workforces and take responsibility for any failures. Our reporter, Tori Watson, is with me. Take us through the details of this report that's out today.
Well, as you have outlined, there are some pretty stark findings in this report from Westminster's Health and Social Care Committee. MPs have spent quite some time on this inquiry, and it really outlines the extent to which the maternity care concerns that Black women have are not being taken seriously. In fact, this document, it describes a crisis in care for Black women, and it says that that's happening in the context of a maternity system that's failing women more broadly. Now, as you mentioned, the report outlines that one of the core drivers of poor maternal outcomes for Black women is racism, and that's something which campaigners say that they're all too familiar with.
I've heard so many cases of mothers being told that they don't need to get pain relief because they are stronger, because they're Black women or they're African. They've been told that they will not be seen until a particular time. They've been told that they weren't priorities, and then when they see who the priority are, it's often non-Black women, white women, or our white counterpart.
As a result of recommended introducing mandatory cultural competency training for all midwives. And in response to the overall report, the Department for Health and Social Care, as well as the NHS, said that racism was unacceptable. They also said that there is room for improvement and that work is ongoing in this area.
Yes, that's terrible news, but it's something that we've known for years, decades. But it's something we'll cover it more as a topic. But once again, it's connected to the overall theme of this show. And that's just painting a picture of an anti-Black world. Very important picture to paint. Very important, because then when you understand that picture and how consistent it is, then everything else makes sense. It all falls into place, and it forces you to maybe think we should have a lifestyle that makes us love ourselves. Good stuff. So let me see if let's see if the other video I can connect with. Hold on, give me 17 seconds, fam. Where should I take it now? Right. So then what we do is now I'm going to bounce to. Remember we were talking about the comedian Ginger J individual, a very very interesting guy. He's actually apparently going for mental health, and we wish him well. But I don't think he's apologized for what he's done. At least he's doubling down. So we'll still wait for him to do that before we offer any kind of help. Let's see. So now this is another thing that I think Brother Dominic sent me this one. I think, or maybe it wasn't. I can't remember. Let me see. That wasn't that one. Let me see. Where are you? Where are you?
What? Are you sure?
No. Yeah, this guy. So this is connected to the outrage, whatever.
That anybody is truly shocked and.
Those gentleman, I think he's a Caribbean, UK speaker of some kind. But he was just talking about his views of black men around.
Surprised by what the one named Ginger J said about black women, because since I know myself coming up, especially since secondary school, I have repeatedly on numerous occasions in multiple scenarios, unprovoked, heard black boys and black men repeat and talk the same thing what me hear Ginger J said. It's like the whole of them come together and have meeting and have their words well put down. The women them love to snap their wrists, they're rude, they don't know how to submit themselves, they're rank, they're too over the top, they're not natural, they have fake this, and all of this out of something that they come up with unprovoked most of the time without anybody asking them any questions. And I've always felt like it is completely been allowed in the black British community for black men to openly come out and disgrace black women without attack, without rebuttal, and they're just allowed to do it, because this is something that is unique with black people, that you do not see this kind of thing with any other community where their men just come out and openly, publicly disgrace their women to different sets of people.
Very important. This is something we hear repeat a lot. About the self-deprecation of black people, and more so from black men, but generally black community. And yeah, so we're painting a picture of other communities having been subjected to this kind of anti-black, self-hate, internalized history. So that's why we're seeing this. And we're painting that picture because we need a solution to this. I wonder what it is.
People and all kinds of things. They don't decide to just have the little conversation by the dinner table with just them and them alone, for us, by us. They have it very publicly, and they're very, very confident to do so. And that is something that I have seen for decades of my life with black men and black boys. And I know damn well that the whole of it have witnessed and seen those kinds of things. And why I don't really want to see black men in general taking a position of extreme outrage is because I know that you have been a part of conversations, whether or not you have participated or not, but I know that you have been part of conversations before, whether it's a WhatsApp group, whether it's in public spaces or wherever on a day. Because if I can be on the sidelines as a gay man and I've heard these things verbatim in my face repeatedly throughout my life, and the way that they would chat black women publicly, and very typically it's not uncommon to hear them talking them things there to their white girlfriends. Well, I don't even do them to a certain day, because, boy, them black girls, them black girls are just, nah, man, allow it, man. And I've heard white girls come back and even repeat the same things that their black boyfriends and their black man them that they're lying down with would say to them. This is indicative.
We're tackling the topic of preference today, and how the whole anti-blackness world, and how the history of anti-blackness, it might be a contribution to this concept of preference, and why we should use this data to make preference a bad word. That's right, bad word.
And it is almost a disease within our community that we allow for this kind of disgraceful public dismissal of black women, black Nubian women that gave life and birth.
We have a question in the group by Mary Goddess. Are there any men that disagree with this? I don't think that the man that watch your content would agree with this video. Well, I generally, like I said, I generally when I go and debate these shows, especially the speaker corner community, I do try to set up a scenario where it's me talking to other black men. I don't like it when it's black women talking to black men. I prefer it when it's me talking to other black men. And we can really unpack this. Because, like I said, you know, I'm showing you all the data here because what you're going to see is, you know, we're fully engulfed in anti-blackness, and it contributes to every single kind of issue that's going on. And what seems to happen is we've culturalized certain ways of dealing with it, and escapism and all this kind of stuff seems to be going, and to the point where people can completely do a 360, and you know, they can look at their own women as something, and the daughters of the people who made you that way as something else. You see, and that's important. So we're gonna unpack this because that's what we do here. We unpack. And any man who wants to jump in and give your opinion most certainly can. You know, we have to discuss it because, like I said, the analysis might be wrong. And then that's another thing I was talking about today, which we might unpack, and that's parallel truths. That's a word that I'm going to push out there in the internet. Parallel truths, where actually, yeah, two things can be right. Something can be right, but also something else can be right at the same time. So behavioral patterns can be wrong, or from a place of hate, but the people doing it might not know it's from a place of hate because they jumped on board within a foundation where it was rebranded and rethought, whatever. But we can unpack that maybe later, maybe not. We'll see.
To the world, and here you are standing up there with your creased face and your criminal record, not looking delicious to anybody that would possibly want to suit her. A criminal in the public forum is stood there questioning black women and about how he does not want them. Who wants you? That's the question. Black women have high standards. They have high standards for themselves, for their community, and for their children, and they fight and have historically fought. And if it was not for black women, I don't know if we could be stood here today as black people. So for you to be stood there, to be stood on the backs of that, and then to be so confident and brazen, to speak the way that you spoke publicly for the world, to hear you disgracing yourself as somebody that has come through the loins of a black woman, and for you to sit down there and disgrace yourself in such a way publicly and think that that is a good thing, and to think it is a good thing to say things so disparagingly about black women, which is just completely untrue. I see him in one video talking about take your fake wig off of your head. Why is it that you believe that just because you have uttered a few words to create a sentence, that means that they must follow your orders? That is why black women do not want you, because you have taken a misogynistic position where you just believe that if you utter a few words in English, that it must mean they must do so. The fake wig. I was stunned by the man's idiotic grammar and his idiotic positions on fake wig. It is a wig. How can a wig be fake? It is a wig. A wig is inherently something that is imitating something, so by its nature and product, it is fake. And it is something that white people historically, for hundreds of years, within the upper classes have worn. Did you stand up in history class in secondary school and tell the white people to take off their wigs? Did you ever do that? Have you ever felt appalled when you have clearly had to go to court and encounter these people with their wigs on their head? Did you ever tell them to take off their wigs? Did you ever tell them to take off their fake wigs? A phrase that makes no sense. Did you ever tell them to do them something that? No, you did not. But you stood on a public platform that you know has loads of people watching, white, black, Chinese, Indian alike, and you felt that it was no way to speak that way.
That's why code is important, like how to conduct yourself in public. And unfortunately, like I said, in the error-prone world we live, anti-black racism, this is not learned or taught. And also, it seems within the mind of many brothers, there's brownie points for saying certain things that they deem as true and this kind of stuff, right? So, yeah, this needs to be reworked and rejigged.
And the reason why you felt no way to speak that way there is because we have this disease.
Big up Love, big up Uncle Barbara, big up Sister She Reigns, big up Jeff, and big up everyone else live and who will be live in future times.
Disease in the black community where men have this way of speaking about black women. Now, of course, I'm going to get a comment to say not all black men. Now, of course, we know that we're not dumb, and I must assume that you know that I'm not stupid as well. That, of course, it is not most men. It is just a minority of men. But it's an acceptance in our community that I don't see challenged as much as it really should be. It's an acceptance that I see much so within us than any other community, and that is where the problem is. The fact that this man never felt the disgrace within him inherently to say, may I go up on a public platform platform and taught them something that is indicative to something that is going on within the black community as a general thing. And we know certain things where we're not statistically about how we do or what we might be doing. And the last thing that may have got touched upon is I've seen a few comments online where there is this idea or this implication that the man could be gay because he was in prison. No. Let's just make it very clear. He is a member of the 97% of men, because let's just remember that gay men make up 3% of the population. So he's actually part of the 97%, the supermajority. And as such, he represents what I know the supermajority to be like in the past. Let's be very clear. Black gay men have always stood behind black women. That is what I can tell you for free. Because when the black men are running up and down like men know what to call it, like jackass in a pen, when the black men them are telling the lies when they're ready for tell, and when the black men are sitting down on public platforms and chatting black women so disparagingly in a way to disgrace their own self, without an acknowledgement of what they're doing to who they are and their entire being and their entire race and everything that they are a part of, as a criminal stood there looking like, I don't even want to call it, Jack in the Beanstalk, climb a mountain. Here we are in real life. But anyways, I sidetrack. Black gay men do not put down black women in that way. We stand behind them, we support them, and let me tell you something, we will fight for them, and we've been fighting for them. Black women and gay men have always historically been at the forefront of any fight that is taking place in any kind of public reality, whether it's soft resistance, medium, already hard, them dead in a real life, and they've been there as a factual point of historical fact that is evidenced. So you cannot sit down there and brandish this kind of behavior and kind of sidetrack it to suggest that because he's gay, that is what has led him to hate gay women. That is not a personality trait of gay men at all. Black gay men feel the most safest around black women, generally speaking. So you will not do that. Male-female hatred within the 97% of the heterosexual black men that exist is something that is real. Now, it's a small amount, obviously, of that 97%, thank God. But we know that it is an issue within our people there. We know that. So stop pretending like we're shocked. And what we need to call out is the fact that those black women had to be exposed to this crebe, we don't know what to call it, we don't know what for, this old drag up boy will just come out of prison that serves no purpose, that can't offer a thing on a plate in real life, that has stories online that just disgrace who he is and his character, to sit down there and shout and holler like you have anything important to say. But here we are, the internet allows for all sides of dege people that have no sense in their brain.
Big up the brother there. So we're just connecting dots now. We're looking at mental health, how it's connected to anti-black racism, and also connecting preference, the black man behavior. So what this brother was saying, there's one bit now. Forgive the foul language. This is from America, and they swear they're effing blind in this video. Let me check find out. But this is for case study.
The state.
It's this one.
State.
Right, so it's this one here. So yeah, there's gonna be a bit of swearing.
Yeah, actually, in this state, are there black-only bathrooms out there I'm unaware of, or white-only?
Black men disrespecting their black modes happens to. Well, if that's the case, we want to unpack that. We don't. That's not correct. But it says the video.
Bathrooms? Nah. Right. A lot of work was done in the state.
So yeah, this is a video of the gentleman who was assassinated by another European gentleman, and they're showing a video of him talking, and black men are watching it, and let's just see what happens.
Fuck you, your face is small.
Well, thanks for being here. They always go to insults when they lose the argument. God bless you, my friend.
That was
wow.
A black woman, Tommy. She would have said your dick small.
Right? Yeah. I just got to say, first off, Melanie,
highlight black woman in that argument when that's a white person that did.
That's happened with Tommy.
He was making a joke. He's making a joke.
So there's two black men on this panel. They seen two white men argue, whatever, and they said, "Oh, if a black woman did that, she would say this." And one of the black men is famous for. He was one of the first anti-black women, kind of like red pill sort of ideology. Historically to come out probably before that time, and there's a Hebrew Israelite brother there who's trying to correct them.
Tommy that's happened 1,000 times to Tommy. I mean, it's the truth though. Am I lying, Tommy?
Yeah, because
so we're highlighting that black women weren't mentioned in this fiasco, but two brothers have brought them up. Very odd behavior, but we've seen it before on the internet where you just black men, the hatred is so strong that any reason, but what they're not doing is mention anything from the anti-black standpoint, historical white people destroying black people. That doesn't get mentioned, and then usually they despise the black woman, and who they love the most is the daughter of the white man. But there's no criticism of the white man's behavior pattern historically, or the white woman's collaboration with the white man historically. And it's very interesting because that's part of the self-hatred that we're internalized racism that we're discussing today.
And the white man is disrespectful. We got to put it on black people. We can't let this man be disrespectful.
I'm speaking off of the factual.
Not in that video. In that video, let it be on a white person. Like, let the white person own that they're ignorant just like black people are. That'd be my issue with niggas. Every time a white person is ignorant, you had to throw a black woman in there. Why the fuck a black woman ain't got shit to do? That the whole reason we having this fight is because a white man killed Charlie, and black people mad because black people don't give a fuck. And when this white man called that white man ignorant, you still put it on a black person. That's what niggas.
What he said was ignorant. That whole statement that he just said was ignorant.
No, when that white man said that smart remark to Charlie, you said if that was a black woman, he would have said he got a little dick. What a black woman got to do with the conversation? A black woman has nothing to do with the conversation.
I didn't talk about Charlie.
So then why you throw a white person? Why you throw a black person in there?
I said that was Tommy making that statement that a black woman would have told me he had a small dick.
What does black people have to do with two white people talking?
It was a joke. It was a joke.
And that's the problem. We become the joke of everything. Instead of letting it stay on white people and their problems, we got to find a way to throw niggas in there. There was no reason to put a black woman in there. No reason. And that's that's the issue that I have with black people. This is a white on white problem that black people are now being vilified because we don't say, oh, Charlie shouldn't have died. Charlie said something good about not having black schools and white schools and having mixed schools. So let's not say anything. Just some cool.
So yeah, we're connecting dots with behavioral patterns. And we remove that. And I'm just considering if I'm gonna go to.
It was in
hold on. All right, yeah. So then I was gonna. I've already blackified it with some other shirt. So let's look so we're gonna look at internalized racism, right? Where it is. There's some quick things for a second, and then we'll look at. It was not that one. Hold on, and then we'll. Where is it?
Peace, black.
Where is it?
I was
internalized racism.
Yeah. Oh, we could actually look at this as well. This is a quick thing.
That Ginger J is obviously from a ghetto, and in the ghetto, I wouldn't say black girls as in dark skinned girls. I would just say light skin, mixed race. Blah, 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 blah.
Are you going to put white in there? Because I feel like you're shying away from
I'm not shying.
The colour white.
I'm just saying.
Like the white girls of nowadays have got some sort of manners. Because I see urban hood white girls that are like trash. Their mannerism is trashy. And it's the environment that they're in. It's the people they're around. It has got nothing to do with the colour of their skin.
No, but yeah, I know. I'm saying that but at least from where we're from, in my age, 90% of people are our colour, who are hood.
But you're only now, let's just say you was going to be a Ginger J and have a Ginger J moment, right? The only argument or evidence or where you're quantifying that from is a small minority to what's out there in the world.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm saying that's why he said it though. I'm saying he said it because he's from a ghetto, and at least from what I know from around where I live, is that
we all know what he meant, but it's how he delivered the argument. Do you feel where I'm coming from? Yeah. He generalized, a whole race.
Yeah, because there's posh black girls, there's ghetto black girls, there's normal black girls, there's
do you understand me? Yeah. Rather than dealing with the person or character or environment or type of girl that you're talking about. Do you understand me? It was about the colour.
I was
Well, yeah, I think that's a father and son Instagram page or something. I don't know much about. All right, now let's look at the internalized racism blurb, so we can move on to the bit I'm trying to connect. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Let's check this one out.
Racism is the acceptance by a stigmatized, marginalized member.
This video is from it's probably from like a more universal group of, you know, I don't know if it's from definitely a black channel. It's more from, you know, whatever. Well, we've got a black one as well, but this I'll just play this one.
Of a non-elite racial group of negative societal beliefs, stereotypes, racial prejudices, or discriminatory behavior about them, which might further lead to the rejection of cultural or religious practices of their own racial group. Though individual may or may not be aware of their own acceptance of those racial prejudices about them, other components considered part of racial, gender expression, and sexual identity doubt are also considered part of the construction of internalized racism. Internalized racism is a psychological process that might affect all non-elite racial, gender, and sexual groups. It involves the acceptance of the typical conventional representation of race, gender, and/or sex, which places racial, gender, or sexual minorities beneath the elite privileged racial groups, conforming solely to socially constructed hegemonic expressions of gender and...
Sounds very modern. Yeah, let me see. Let me check the black one out over. Yeah, this one hasn't been blackified, so that's not correct. So AI as well. The Black Parent Authority. This is a site on YouTube I came across. Quick.
What is internalized racism and black racial identity?
All right.
Have you ever wondered how societal messages shape our views of ourselves? Internalized racism in black racial identity is a significant topic that affects many individuals. It refers to the process where African American people absorb negative stereotypes and beliefs about blackness. This can lead to feelings of low self-worth and a rejection of their own cultural heritage. When the dominant culture promotes racist ideas, some individuals may start to believe that blackness is inferior to whiteness. This belief can manifest in various ways. For instance, some may experience low self-esteem linked to their racial identity. They might feel shame about being black, which can be quite damaging. Another way this shows up is through a preference for Eurocentric beauty standards. Many may value lighter skin or straighter hair, sometimes even altering their appearance to fit these ideals. This can create a disconnect from their natural beauty and cultural identity. Additionally, some individuals may distance themselves from black culture, language, or community. This includes rejecting African values and traditions, which can lead to a loss of collective identity. Policing behavior within the black community can also occur, where individuals criticize others for embracing their blackness. Acceptance of biased historical narratives is another aspect. This can minimize the impact of racism and deny the true history of African Americans. It is important to remember that internalized racism is not a personal failing. It is a response to living in a society shaped by racial oppression. Understanding this concept is vital for parenting in African American families. Parents can play a key role in nurturing racial confidence and cultural empowerment in their children. Teaching kids about the richness of black culture and history can counteract negative societal messages. Encouraging pride in natural physical features and cultural expressions helps children resist harmful beauty standards. Building awareness of racism's effects allows children to recognize and reject negative beliefs about themselves. Modeling positive racial identity and self-acceptance supports children's mental health and self-esteem. Creating open dialogues about race and identity lets children express their feelings without fear of judgment. By addressing internalized racism, parents can help their children develop a strong, positive black racial identity. This foundation supports mental health and social connections. Ultimately, it prepares children to navigate a society where racial bias exists, fostering racial confidence and empowerment.
All right, cool. So now we're going to go to the the conclusion videos, and this so we're be warned. You've probably seen some of them before, but it's we're gonna look at the doll test, but more recent ones because it was done in the 50s or 60s, maybe 50s, I think. And we're gonna look at more recent ones. I got a few. Sorry, I couldn't get the UK ones, but I got some from around the world, maybe. But let me see if I can find what's the best one to open with. So what we're talking about, we're connecting the dots. We're seeing like why black men, so many black men, are comfortable to just be aggressive towards black women and this kind of stuff. And it's connected to the Ginger J outbreak. Very good, very good scenario to start a very important topic. Also, we have to have a conversation about about how to fix things and like because the same complaints seem to be coming up. Also, what else was it? Also, blah blah blah. What was it? We're looking at preference. That's the word. Yeah, preference. Like when black men say preference, because I know it's black women responding like, "Yeah, we're not saying you can't have a preference." I think preference is an amazing marketing tool that a smart black man came up with to try to get less kickback on what I could define as potential self-hatred. And I'm using all this as a case study to connect the dots to say that how can you have an unbiased preference in an anti-black world with the history we have, when you go into the minds of so many black people, whether they're young, middle, or old, they all seem to display a level of self-hatred, which surely contributes to other areas. So why would they not contribute to how you pick your spouse? Hold on. Let me see. So what we'll do is we'll look at let me look at some videos. I found one, then we'll go through. We've got 3 of them or so. Let's see if we'll find one. No, not that one.
Peace. It was an experiment.
Let's look at this one. Yeah, this is lately. This is one of the latest ones.
An experiment that changed the course of U.S. history, helping to desegregate schools. And all it took were some kids and some baby dolls. Now, more than 60 years later, would the results be any different? Will Ewick has that story.
I don't really know what about it stuck with me.
Texas A&M assistant professor Dr. Tony Sturdivant first heard about Dr. Kenneth and Mamie Clark's doll experiments as an undergrad and has been thinking about it ever since.
I remember wondering if things were different, what would happen.
The study questioned over 200 African-American children from 3 to 7 years old about black and white baby dolls.
Saying things like, give me the doll that you would like to play with, or give me the doll that looks bad.
What they found was startling.
2/3 of the children selected the white dolls for positive attributes and the black dolls for negative attributes.
The study showed that children as early as 3 are able to pick up on societal messages. And Dr. Kenneth Clark used that research as an expert witness in Brown versus Board of Education, demonstrating that separate but equal really wasn't equal when it generates a feeling of inferiority.
Some of the children actually were visibly upset with having to say that the black doll looked like them.
Now, more than 6 decades after that experiment, Dr. Sturdivant decided to see if anything has changed.
I didn't just include a white and black doll, I also included the Latina doll.
She observed a multiracial Texas school for a semester, 13 students, 4 dolls, and salon props.
Instead of asking children which one is the bad doll or whatever, I just placed the dolls in their classroom.
She took notes and followed up with some clarifying questions. And what she found,
black dolls were stepped on, black dolls were cooked in the pots,
was pretty much the same startling thing the Clarks found all those years ago.
The children.
This is the most. I think it's the most recent video I've got. This might happen not too long ago. So this one was test that the black dolls were completely disregarded and disrespected.
Children still had this pro-white bias that the Clarks found earlier in their studies. So the black dolls had afro curly hair. So they would say, I don't want to play with that doll because it's curly.
Dr. Sturdivant says although school desegregation was a good first step and may have helped, the work is far from done. And one of the ways to help kids and society move forward,
it's okay to talk to their kids about race and feel good about their background,
is as simple and easy as talking.
We do have data to support that adult silence about race fosters feelings of anti-Blackness in not just Black children, but all children, because as children are always learning, always.
Will Ewick, 3 News.
So that's the latest one. Let me see if I can get some ones in the early 2000s. Let's see, because they're different states and obviously different countries.
I would say
Hold on.
I would. Which doll is
This is let me quickly find something.
is the black doll? And which one is the white doll?
That one.
Which doll is the pretty doll? Which doll is the nice doll? Which doll is the bad doll? Which doll is the nice doll? And which doll is the bad doll? And why is that doll pretty?
Because he's white and he has 2 eyes.
Which doll is the ugly doll? Why is that doll ugly?
Because he's black.
All right, so that's a very, very tragic thing. Let's look at some more. That must have been, looks like early 2000s, that one. Looks like early 2000s.
I would say. I would say. Which?
This is in France, I believe. This is in France.
Quelle poupée tu préfères?
Which doll do you prefer? Points to the European-looking doll.
Celle-là.
The European-looking one again. Maybe the black one this time. Nope. European
Quelle
one.
est la poupée que tu préfères?
Which doll do you prefer? Oh, European one.
Pourquoi?
Why? Why is that?
Parce que
Because.
Parce que quoi?
Because what?
c'est mon fils.
Because it's my favorite.
Préféré.
Kind of like preference, right? Preference. Oh yeah.
Celle-là.
This one again, European one. So far the winning.
Pourquoi?
Why?
Parce que ma sœur.
Because my sister only plays with her white dolls. Right.
Elle joue que avec ses poupées blanches. Ce serait
I would be the white. It would be the white for me.
la blanche moi.
Pourquoi?
Parce que j'aime bien ses
Because I like her blue eyes. Like her blue
yeux
eyes.
bleus.
Quelle est la poupée la moins
Which is the least prettiest doll?
jolie?
Celle-là.
The black one.
Pourquoi?
Why?
Je sais pas.
I don't know why.
Parce qu'elle est
Because
noire.
she's black. Makes sense, I guess.
Quelle est la poupée la moins jolie?
Which is the least pretty? Okay.
La noire.
The black one. We've seen him. It's like they can clearly identify race and black and that, and yeah, they're pretty common. And this is all I've got: Spanish, Arabic. I'm not gonna play with it, but it's very consistent. And there are some that you get different results, but ultimately the majority is that one.
Parce que j'aime pas trop le noir.
I don't really like black. Oh yeah.
Pourquoi?
Why?
Parce que tous
Because all the kids at school are white. Huh?
les enfants de mon école, ils sont blanches. Et moi, quand je serai
And me, when I'll be older,
grande, je mettrai de
I'll put cream to become white. Okay, that's very sad.
la crème pour devenir blanche.
All right. So we're doing a connected dots there. We're showing that in the anti-black world, where from work, from nursery, from school, from TV, from magazines, from family passed down attitudes that hasn't been resolved because no one's practicing black Betterment. You will have anti-blackness, and you will have a bias towards blackness, and probably a preference towards non-blackness. So when it comes to public argument, preferences, and all this kind of stuff, you're not on an equal playing field. And unfortunately, there was a time where black people kind of knew this, but it seems like we're kind of forgetting this now. And that's why I think it's necessary to wage war when black men say they have a preference, you see, because I can't see a black person having a preference who's lived through all the black men who said that. I probably have a video of a kid from a time when they were kids, you see, and it seemed the data was kind of consistent. So that makes me think that the anti-blackness has done its kind of job. Let's see if we can find some more videos. There's some that might be less extreme than that. Let's see.
I would say black and white. Black and white now. Now that we have an African American dolls.
Yeah, this one's not as extreme.
Now that we have an African American family in the White House, we decided to look back at some landmark experiments, including one from decades ago in which small children were given 2 dolls, the only difference the color of their skin, and asked questions to see if they had absorbed unconsciously absorbed the prejudice around them.
Which is the pretty doll?
This one.
Why is it the pretty doll?
Because it looks sort of like creamish colors.
Just by looking at them, I think both of them look pretty.
Our grade school children answering questions about 2 dolls, identical dolls, except for the color of their skin.
Why is that the bad doll?
Because it's brown.
And why is that the good doll?
Because it's white.
It harkens back to that stunning experiment in the 1940s by legendary sociologists Dr. Kenneth and Mamie Clark. They asked African American children about 2 dolls, one black, one white, and shocked the world when 63% of these black children said they'd rather play with the white doll, adding the white doll was nicer. And in the most poignant answer of all, nearly half of these African American children said the white doll looked most like them.
Groundbreaking in the sense that it sort of changed the way we look at race relations. Here were kids who felt that being white was more beautiful than black, and that's pretty devastating.
So we wondered, would it be different 60 years later with our 19 African American children? There is a headline today. 88% of our children happily identified with the dark-skinned doll.
This one. This one.
That's good that they connect themselves with black dolls.
And the majority preferred to play with the darker doll.
It's good.
Or both, or neither.
Both. Neither.
We move next to the question about which doll is nice, which is not. And again, the majority of our kids said the black doll was nice, or both dolls equally so.
Which doll is the nice doll?
The black one.
10 points to them.
This one. Both of them. The bad doll, I would have to say, is the right, because that's just the way it looks at me. It kind of creeps me out with the beady eyes.
Very interesting. The child there noticed the European doll looking at her with beady eyes. Interesting.
But we wondered, why did a few kids say that white doll was the nicest?
Which is the good doll? Why is that the good doll?
It always be good and listen.
And which is the bad doll?
That one.
Why is that the bad doll?
It talks back and don't follow directions.
So this led us to a brand new question of our own for 2009, this age obsessed with physical appearance. We asked which of the 2 dolls is the prettiest, and we discovered all of the boys said both.
There's not really a difference except for their skin color. Doesn't really matter.
Black boys are more confident. Black girls do not feel that they enjoy the respect and admiration that black boys do.
But here was the surprise.
It's interesting from 2008 then.
Surprise. Today, in 2009, nearly half of our African American girls said the prettiest doll is white.
Which is the pretty doll?
That one.
Why is that a pretty doll?
Because I like the color white.
Which is the ugly doll?
That one.
Why is that the ugly doll?
Because I don't like how it's brown.
And which doll looks most like you?
I would say that one.
Why?
Because I'm brown, but I'm mixed up with white and black.
And which doll do you look like?
That one. But I'm not mean.
This second grader picked the white doll up right away when she sat down, before questions even began.
Do you like that doll? Which is the pretty doll? Why is that the pretty doll?
Because it's shiny.
And which is the ugly doll? Why?
Because it is frowning.
There's still that residue. There's still the problem of overcoming years, decades of racial and economic subordination.
So Dr. Wilson says there's still work to be done, especially with girls, even with Barack Obama as president, his family in the White House, to make sure the weight of a prejudiced past doesn't secretly make its way into the hopes of a brand new day.
Do you think you can be president one day?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Barack Obama was like my idol. He's persevered and he's gone through so much, and I think since he's done it, I can do it too.
All right, so that's 2009. There was one other thing I wanted to say. So yeah, we're looking at connecting the dots, and we're saying that in the anti-black world, there's many things going on under the hood, and it even said there that unfortunately the sisters already had certain complexes about being seen as black. Jeff Shot, we have to realize that from advertising and commercials, white is pretty much what kids saw. Like I said, most things, if not everything, is going to be geared to whiteness, and that's why it's important that we culturally create the concepts for ourselves of black betterment, where you have a B1 mentality and you're constantly trying to recognize the shortcomings in the black community and find solutions and make sure that black love is prevalent. I was going to say something about Barack Obama, because obviously there's a lot of pushback about certain things he did and didn't do for the black community. But like I said then, I said now, he was a black-skinned man. He identified as black. He married a black woman in a black family in the White House. So when these women, these girls are looking at him as a president, they realize he's marrying a black woman, and the black men are seeing, the black boys are seeing he's marrying a black woman. This is the kind of commercialism that we're talking about, where if you there's always a percentage of something you can do that's productive, and sometimes it can just be by osmosis, and that is, if we can maximize black men become constructive and successful and finding black partners, then this helps paint a better picture for your community and the younger generations to look up to, if you understand. I'm grabbing some food. I'm going to come up and you're welcome to come on. The link's there. I had one video that helped me. What's the last video?
Black and
this place mother to her daughters. So this is, I think, recent. Must be recent since the. So people doing their own test to see how their kids were. So let's see what this lady is done. So this one.
Today's lesson is all about visuals. I tried the doll test with my girls, and I would like for you all to see what happens. Okay, Nilia, can you show me which one of these dolls is the mean doll?
This one.
Okay. Can you show me which one of these dolls is the bad doll?
This one.
Okay. Can you show me which one is the ugly doll?
This one.
And can you show me which is the skin color adults like the most?
This one.
Okay. Can you also tell me which is the skin color that adults don't like the most?
This one.
Okay, and I have another question. What skin color are you?
Well, I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle. Good. Can you show me which one is the mean doll? Okay. And can you show me which one is the bad doll? Okay. Can you also show me which one is the ugly doll? Okay. Show me which one is the skin color adults like the most. Okay. And now can you show me which one is the skin color adults don't like the most? Okay. And now, which one is your skin color? Which one? Okay. And are you bad?
No.
I know, mommy. You're beautiful. Nilia and Alina, I have one more question for you girls. Nilia, I'm going to start with you. Which one of these two dolls is your favorite?
This one.
How about you, Alina? Which one do you like most?
This one.
Okay. Nilia, why is that? Why is that your favorite doll?
It's because it has pretty eyes.
Oh, okay. So she sees that it has pretty eyes. And how about you, Alina? Which one do you like most and why?
It's because it's white and it has pretty eyes too.
Okay, so you like her because of the same reason. She's white and she has pretty eyes. So I have one more question. What is wrong with her skin color?
It's dirty. It's a little dirty.
It's a little dirty. I see. Should I say more? As we explore the history of African American culture, be sure to constantly think about your feelings while watching this video. Peace and love.
All right, so yeah, that was just a random video I came by. There's plenty more. Very tragic, but it's not really new stuff, and that's why we have to have like a Black Betterment kind of teaching pattern really, because everything is against you. So what I'm trying to demonstrate is from being a young person to school to work, to be around your family, to buying magazines, to watching shows, to talk to your friends. Within that space, you're likely to come across anti-Black racism, quite consistent, and you can internalize it. You'll internalize it and adapt to it, and even put it in the back of your mind, ignore it, and live despite of it. But then it could contribute to other choices you make, and some that could actually go from being in the front of your mind to the back of your mind. You see, where you're making choices that's happening in the back of your mind because it's just automatic. It's regulated. It's done without your knowledge. And in this world, in this concept, this is where the word preference, Black men, I say, is coming from. Where an argument comes that it's just my preference that I like the daughters of white men or non-Black women, whatever. And then also within that same frame, it's not a physical thing; it's a mental thing. Like Black women mentally are this way, while other women are not this way. And it's what's happened is you look at the behavior patterns of certain Black women, and you paint it across a whole broad sense of Black women in general. But you do not do the same for the preference, the European, the Asian. They can do no wrong. Even though when you ask their communities who they despise the most, Black people will come the highest. Black men, of course, will be the highest because the majority of non-Black communities do not want Black men in their family. If they're richer, they might, especially if they're poorer and the Black men are richer, then they can look past this. Hulk Hogan, this is a wrestler who unfortunately died a few months back. But he was explaining this very well on a pornography tape he was making with the wife of his friend. And he was saying that, if you're going to marry, N-word, whatever, you at least pick a rich one, At least if you're going to bring one of those to the family, at least make you a millionaire, whatever. Don't just pick some average one, whatever. So, this is the world we live in, very normal. I was looking at some other videos in Spanish on Instagram. This came up, and it was the same thing. They were doing that whole Black man walking down the street in Spanish or Portuguese, asking Black people or people in Brazil and these kind of places, like, two pictures, who would you prefer? And I had to keep asking who they picked because I don't speak Spanish well or at all. And yeah, they all picked their Europeans, but I could tell by the comments they were, because I read the comments and they were saying stuff. So it's something we know about, and it's I think the most important point here is the first point, of which are the study about mental health and how being in such societies can affect your mental health. That is connected to high blood pressure, diabetes and other chronic illnesses, and as well as mental health and how it might flavor your choices in life. What we could do, now if there's anyone, I've put the link in the group, and I think Jeff said is it Jeff? Yeah, Jeff wanted to eat and can jump on. So it'd be good to hear from him if he does when he's ready. But there was a guy who actually got his video. Hold on, let me see if I find it. 3 minutes. Yeah, this is the 3 minutes of this guy. Very important. Brother David R. Williams, write his name down. I'll write in the group. Very good. He's been since the 70s been doing research on the connection between health and racism. David, here we go. Let me find. Let me see which one to play. Is it this one? That's 3 minutes, and this one is how long? This one is 6 minutes. How? Let's play the 6 minute one. I'll give you guys time to ponder if you want to come in. Yeah. Skip all that. Let's get rid of Boston. Blah, 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 blah.
Work is
there we go. We get to talking.
The field of behavioral sciences have some of the key answers to some of the major crises that the United States faces in terms of health. My name is David Williams. My work is looking at social factors that affect health. I think most Americans, when we think about health, we think about medical care. We think about access to medical care, the quality of care that we receive. But the scientific research is very clear that where we live, learn, work, and play have more to do with our health than going to a doctor. So when we talk about health and what can be done to promote health, we really need to think about the factors and the places where we spend most of our time and the opportunities or barriers in those places to lead a healthy lifestyle. Does your neighborhood have access to a full-service grocery store where you can get access to fruits and vegetables? Is your neighborhood free of crime, and is it safe to walk outside in the day? Does your neighborhood have access to green spaces and to parks and to safe places to walk? Low-income Americans are 3 times more likely to die before the age of 65 than high-income Americans. My earliest work started out looking at inequalities in health in terms of socioeconomic inequalities in health. Why does health vary by income and education and occupational status? And many people don't realize this, but the gaps in health in the United States by income and education are larger than the gaps in health by race. It's an interesting sociological question why, as a society, we've historically paid complete attention just to racial gaps in health and not to the gaps by socioeconomic status. Let me give you a concrete example. Where you live in the United States, for most people, determines where you go to school, the quality of elementary and high school education. And the quality of education then determines your access to quality higher education, which determines your access to quality jobs, which determines your access to residence in quality neighborhoods, which determines the quality of resources you have in life to deal with all the things you will encounter. In some states, there's a 13-year difference in how long people live, just linked to which county they live in. All of these are powerful ways in which our health is affected that is shaped by the context in which we live. Race has been what sociologists like to call master status, a factor that determines your access to virtually every resource within society. Generally, even when we look at blacks and whites or Latinos at the same levels of income or education, there still is a residual effect of race. So race still matters then at every level of education and income. And that led to the question, what else is it about race that still matters so much for health? What does it mean to be African American in the United States? And how does the experience of race shape exposures that have consequences for health? The everyday discrimination scale is a 9-item set of questions that assess the way in which people are treated, or ways in which people are treated in their day-to-day lives. What the everyday discrimination scale does, it tries to measure how their experience, the way others treat them and others view them is different. So it just captures the little indignities that occur on a day-to-day basis. And what we are finding is that this chronic, minor, ongoing experiences of incivility and discrimination have long-term negative consequences for health. That's kind of a powerful way in which racism affects health that we seldom think about. The idea that racism has consequences for health is not new, has been around for 100 years. But the actual hard scientific evidence linking racism to actual disease processes, like processes of inflammation and processes of the subclinical development of heart disease, is new. I think one of the things that I'm doing is encouraging people to look at the intersections of inequalities, looking at race and socioeconomic status together, looking at the joint effect of both of those variables, and empirically documenting the ways in which racism affects health. The key to improving the health of America is not linked to more medical care. It's linked to factors outside the healthcare system and paying attention to improving the quality of life in the places where Americans spend most of their time. Our homes, our workplaces, our schools, our neighborhoods, our communities. And if we can develop a culture of health where we can make the healthy choice, the easy choice, we can put the United States on a...
We'll cut there. All right, cool. There you go. Yeah. So you listed this is some of the things that was quite interesting. If your community has these things to test, he said it. What did he say? He said it. See if I can find it. It was quite interesting. Hold on. Oh, I think it's right there. Yeah.
Are 3 times more likely to die before the age of 65 than high-income Americans. My earliest work started out looking at inequalities in health in terms of socioeconomic inequalities in health. Why does health vary by income and education and occupational status? And many people don't realize this, but the gaps in health in the United States by income and education are larger than the gaps in health by race. It's an interesting sociological question. Racial this, which
I can't find it. Where's that thing said? Was it before?
medical care. You think
Hold on, I'm just trying to find it. He listed 6 things or something.
health. We really need to think about and the
Hold on.
service. Your neighborhood have access.
There we
Is
go.
your neighborhood have access to those places to lead a healthy lifestyle?
Okay.
Does your neighborhood
So
have access to a full-service grocery store
grocery store,
where you can get access to fruits and vegetables?
fruits and vegetables, very important. We say there, fruits and veg.
Is your neighborhood free of crime? And
Free of crime. Probably say no to that one.
is it safe to walk outside in the day? Does your neighborhood have access to green spaces?
Green spaces. So these are the things that could contribute to happiness, better health. So
And to parks and to safe places to walk?
So you said grocery stores that sell fresh fruit and veg, a safe space to walk, green parks. This is like part of well-being. Very important. All right, we're going to play one more and then I'm done. The links, if anyone wants to jump in, feel free. For those who are joining now in the future times, what we're looking at, let me go back to the remove that. Well, we're talking about health. We discussed the connection between racism and poor health within the Black community. Yeah, that's right. Like and subscribe. The button, please. Press like if you can. And also the second topic is preference or internalized racism. We discussed how internalized racism could be at the heart of many Black men's preference. We also haven't done it fully yet, but I'm going to do it. Sorry about that. And that is, we asked last week, what are the 2 issues, and I updated the verbiage. What 2 issues would Black men like Black women to self-reflect and improve on? And what 2 issues would Black women like Black men to self-reflect and improve on? We're gonna start that campaign to have a conversation about these things that keep coming up, and maybe a truthfulness and have a heart to heart and a solution based conversation. My area of interest is black men's preference and what motivates black men to publicly say their preference is not the women in their group, and also the black men who are silent on this issue, allowing the I assume minority to have a bigger voice on social media. So yeah, this is I'll be designing this at some point and posting the question. We welcome brother Jeff to Black Man Jeff. Welcome.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Excellent. Welcome back, Jeff. Right.
Thanks for having me on, man. How you doing?
Very good.
Good.
So yeah, so the topic this week was health and racism connection and preference or internalized racism. Is there something you wanted to go over about those, or something slightly connected?
I believe they're connected. But is the question geared to like both races, or you just talking about the black community?
Well, I mean, to be honest, this is an open forum for black people, and if there's something you want to talk about that might be connected, or even slightly connected, or more connected to something that happened a few weeks back or whatever. But generally, overall, where I'm going with this is black men's preference, internalized racism, as well as health issues and stuff. But that's me connecting dots, so maybe just a preference.
Okay, I think the health and racism are actually connected.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Even with, man, I wanted to jump on so bad last week with the topic you had, but I was real busy and I wasn't able to get on.
But we can do this because we can do it now. Well, if you remember what it was.
It was about the Charlie Kirk situation over here in America.
Oh, right, of course, yeah.
And that situation, and it's just, even with one of the topics we were talking about, health and racism, even just hearing it for the last week. It happened last Wednesday, so it's been like 10 days since it's happened. And it's so frustrating, me as a black person, just seeing online, whether it be social media platforms, the back and forth, and how everybody's just saying, he was murdered because of his difference of opinions, when in actuality he was really spewing hate. And also that being blanketed by Christianity. And so just to see, just like from people I've actual friends with on social media, to see that, like, man, I didn't know people thought like that. And it was like, dang, I mean, so yes, it can cause especially mental, like I said, it's just been a lot. And I was just like, wow, just to
You said your are these European white friends or black friends, or a mixture of both? So you said both, is that right?
Yeah, but what really was the kicker? Like, one of my white friends, I've known this lady for maybe like 15 years or better, and just when this happened, she made a post about anybody celebrate, which I wasn't celebrating the guys. I mean, a lot of people didn't really know who he was up until last week. I knew who he was, and her thing was to see if you're celebrating somebody's death because of different other opinions, then, and I get it, but it wasn't. I guess and for me, I'm saying I'm gonna put it like this. I think he said what a lot of white people think or wanted to say. And he was kind of like the mouthpiece. It's like when I was talking about the internalized racism, his thing was, if I see a black pilot, I'm gonna wonder if they were really truly qualified. Like, wow, like that's really what you think? I was on the link.
Right. Yeah, I think brothers be preoccupied, but yeah. So just for those checking, last week we were talking about the assassination of I forgot the brother's name. Forgiveness, Kirk. Is it Charlie Kirk? I think shame me for forgetting. But yeah, and I think yeah, I think the area we were talking about last week was people celebrating from a strategic standpoint. I wouldn't celebrate. I don't think I don't recommend celebrating anyone's death, especially publicly. But people, I guess some people have done it, and I think what the brother was saying here, Jeff, was, and this is something that another brothers have told me and some other guys, and that is, they have European white friends on the social media, and then when these things happen, they start posting stuff, and it makes you see them slightly different, of their views and their political affiliations, and this kind of stuff. And as usual, black men or people in general are surprised that non-black people might have some of these views, or they might support people who they might see as pretty much identity extremists or anti-black in some form or way. And like the brother said, some of these individuals, they're very good at masking their views with religion or politics or opinion or preference or whatever it might be. Even though unfortunately, all their views seem to correlate with black people not getting certain things like healthcare or DEI or reparations or reflection of challenges from the past or compensation or credit or whatever it might be. He seems to be very consistent with that. And I think one people understand is the difference between like open identity extremists, where these are people who are going to hate you and say they hate you, and there's people where their verbiage will make it look like, no, we're trying to get equal space in the world, and you can't be equal if you give a special treatment to a particular group, and then that becomes a narrative. But yeah, so Jeff, when you get time, you can just come back in.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So what we were saying was, so your European friend, she was. So your issue with her, her issue was generally like she didn't want to see people celebrating his death. Is that what it was?
Yeah, but it was kind of masked behind the quote of difference of opinions.
Yeah.
But if you really followed him and you really know what his rhetoric was, it's like, is that my thing was like, is that how you really think?
How did that make you feel?
It kind of made me look at her in a different light, It was like I said before, he was kind of like he said what a lot of people wanted to say, a lot of white people wanted to say, but they couldn't. And so it just, like I said, we were former co-workers. So I used to work with this lady.
Yeah.
And so she was always cordial. We always spoke. It was nothing that gave me an implication that she had these thoughts, But again, it's always hidden behind the blanket of Christianity. And I'm a Christian. I'm an actual preacher. And nothing he was saying, show love. If you really know the Bible and about Christ and Christianity, it's like the main things about love. For him to have, the thought of, again, like he was saying, Michelle Obama, Joy Reid, and another lady, that they were products of affirmative action, and they didn't have the brain capacity to actually get those jobs on their own without a leg up, So the things he was saying, everybody was like, the opinions, like, it's not so much as the opinions, but it's like, is this really what you guys think and want to say?
Well, I think people like him, especially in this like the social media and self-made media mogul kind of methods, and that is there's a lot of anti-black racist ways of thinking, but people don't necessarily want to come and say that, so they need like an arbiter, someone like him, who can go out and be the face of it, and they can just support, pay for, be behind, and they like people who can articulate in a way where it can come across like they're somewhat being intellectual, and the other people are overreacting, whatever it is. My advice to people like him, who unfortunately before he was shot, and I say it when I go to public speaking, is you can be as shocking as you want, and I understand that gets you more pay and more clicks and stuff. But unfortunately, the more shocking you're going to be, the more extreme you're going to be, the chances are you might trigger like the wrong person. And I think that's what happened there. Because he was many different groups he was talking about, wasn't it? And I think one of them maybe connected to maybe another group, whatever. Unfortunately, took matters into their own hands and sniped him. That's all they say. So yeah, and that's a reality when it comes to pushing the envelope when it comes to controversial themes and straight face shock, that straight face shock, that pan shock face they do. But yeah, and this is what's happening. And yeah, the whole masking of your idea. Well, using religion as a means to hide, mask, butchery, as from a European standpoint and an Arab standpoint, to be honest, it's been happening for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? Everyone who enslaved black people were Christian. The boat was called Jesus Christ. All the stuff like that. They made sure they get in the Caribbean. They made sure they gave black people a Bible that never had any verses about freedom or rebellion. So they understand how to take religion and try to usurp it into something that can work in anti-black ideology, right?
Right.
I would say to black people, and I'm talking to you, just maybe if it correlates with you, is that there's a way how if you can live, there's a certain way to live around white people. That if you live in a certain way, when certain things come out, you won't be shocked or you won't be too upset.
Right.
And now some people think it's very extreme, but it's like it's direct integration. I don't really like people their personal life because they live their life, but there's certain things that if you don't do these things, you're less likely to be flawed. And one of them is marriage, motherhood, and mortgages. If you do those things and you're unaware or that your partner might be supportive of anti-black ideology and stuff, it's most unfortunate if you find out after you've given them a child, a mortgage, and a marriage that they support, and that could really hurt your feelings and the rest of it, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So I would say that one of the benefits of being pro-black or casually wanted to be around black people economically, marriage-wise, children-wise, is you won't be devastated if you discover that your partner is anti-black. You see,
right?
But then that doesn't obviously work for everyone because there's a lot of integration of people long to be with other community groups and stuff like that through marriage, mortgages, and motherhood. But that's one great defense mechanism, as in if you and the byproduct of black betterment is you maximize black people casually being with black people. It feels very natural to do that. But like I said, we were looking at the gentleman who was in some of the black women a few weeks back, and he was casually doing it because it felt natural to do that. So that means something has been subverted where that's a natural feeling. So the idea is to reverse. Yes. What about hating black women?
I mean, you said it like casually, like I mean, because I went back and because I think the last time I was on, we was talking about the ginger guy.
Yes.
And I actually went back and kind of looked at it, and it was like, I still stand on my stance. They were kind of like provoking. They was like looking for an argument, and they were, like, well, we as black women, we do this, and they was, making the motions how most black women do when they're, telling somebody off, the hand motion, hand gestures, things like that. And he was just kind of like telling, like, that's not necessary. And they were kind of, to me, from watching it, it kind of looked like they was provoking and they was wanting something to pop off, kind of like pushing the buttons. Because I just don't see anything that was malicious. Him or either some of the other guys were saying, they were trying to explain themselves, and women were cutting them off. And so I just, like I said, I went back and looked at it. I was like, it wasn't. I still have my same stance on it. It was like I don't think it's because in the same token, if those guys weren't on the panel, if it was a panel of all women, and it was like what a black man not doing, it would probably be the same way.
So you're saying
it's kind of like a broad stroke of well, black men don't do this, black men don't take care of their kids, black, and that's totally opposite of what's really going on. Like all black women aren't bad, all black women don't wear wigs, don't have lashes and all that type of stuff,
Yeah, so. I think what's happening is just kind of like it's kind of like us and them mentality is kind of in this conversation at the moment. And I
It
think,
is.
and I think what I'm trying to, and it seems that there's a high percentage of black men who feel just like you, especially here in the UK and America and Canada and stuff. And I think what the point might be missed. Like what's happening is there's a black man on a black show screaming at a black woman that he doesn't mess with them because they have fake hair and they've got fake eyelashes and they don't listen and he's best pleased that he's with the daughter of an Asian man, right? This is, he doesn't understand, and maybe you don't understand fully about why that could be extremely problematic to the black community of a way of communicating. Now, even if the women were, and what you did there, by the way, was we called that a failure fabrication, and what that was is you assume that black women will do a certain thing, and you don't assume they do a positive thing. What I can say from listening to him is he became very physical with his insults towards the women, but they weren't very physical towards him. He's a brother who says he's gone through life with certain kind of double racism, as in because apparently ginger people in the European community get a form of ginger discrimination, and obviously black people get a form of black discrimination. So he says he gets
Oh,
a
so
double.
you just opened my eyes to something. See, I didn't know that was a thing. So there's such thing
Yeah,
as ginger.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Oh,
yes. So,
wow. Okay.
but what I'm saying is the sisters, they didn't use any kind of like man issue or ginger issue or anything. That they were more talking about his behavioral pattern. They were saying the way you are behaving is unacceptable. While he said the way black women are misbehaving because of his argument with one particular sister, right? And that's
Right.
very. And he didn't back down, and he got very aggressive. He stood up, and he started doing the whole dance and comedy stuff where he was doing whatever. And what I'm saying is many black men, and this is why if you look at the screen at the moment, I'm asking what two issues would black men like black women to self-reflect and improve on? And this is very important because I suspect black men will say collectively the same thing, and maybe black women will say the same thing, but you'll see two different paradigms of what's going on in the mind. I remember asking someone not too long ago in a discussion who they feel collectively our black men and black women are more closer and knowledgeable about the process of black empowerment. And they all seem to say black women seem to be more educated on what that looks like, right? And I think that might be one of the challenges I'm dealing with, where black men don't seem to understand, at least the ones we're engaging with, that greater concept of black empowerment and the importance of it. It's very surface level and what we're seeing there, right? Like, and that's why the question I do wonder what black men collectively will say. What are the two issues of black women? And I suspect it will be something like hair and softness, right? While
Right.
black women, I suspect, will be something like economics and protection. But I could be wrong. But what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
I think you hit the nail on the head. But
yeah,
my thing is, okay, if we keep screaming this, hey, black woman, we like natural beauty. Hey, black man, we need more protection. It's like, at what point are we going to get it? Or are we going to still? Because I think I've been on your show a couple of times. Like, I kind of think like the conversation is going in circles because it's like if I, like you say, you put just only two things that you think that black men, if they would have asked black women, what they self prove on, and you pretty much hit them on the head. The softness, respect, and like the natural beauty. I think across the board, pretty much black men would agree with that. So what's wrong with black women? Like, you know what? All black men can't be wrong. This is all we're hearing about: our lashes, the wigs, the da 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 da, and all the extra stuff. Like, hey, black ladies, let's change, and vice versa on the shoe on the other foot. Like, all the black women, like, hey, the economics, we need more stable men in the home and providers and protectors. And hey, brother, let's do better about our families. Let's be better protectors. Let's be better providers. But it always ends up as, well, you don't complain about the white woman with the wig, da 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 da, or it's like,
You are fairly fabricating at the moment, but let me add to this, right? There always has to be a starting domino, and if the sisters are requesting protection isn't just financial, it's emotional, right? So that means if a complaint from black men is a perceived aesthetic choice, how you deliver that could actually then bleed into not protecting women, because you're talking about an aesthetic choice, right? So there's a way of how I would recommend black men approach the critique or the recommendation of aesthetics, especially understanding. We just watched a whole 1 hour documentation about how black people from child to adults have been unfortunately reared to be self-hating black and to naturally gravitate towards Europeanness, right? So these have to factor in when it comes to how to recommend certain things. Now I have strategies, right? And that's why I try to do grand discussions with black men to say that the hardest thing we might have to do ourselves is, if we want soft women, find out how to be soft ourselves. You see, as in we should be hard to our men, because that's how you rear up men, and we should be soft to our women. But unfortunately, the reverse is happening. So that Ginger J gentleman, if you scour the internet, you will never see a video of him being aggressive to black men or men, right? Although he's been in jail for 11 years, but you will see videos of him being aggressive to women, and more particularly black women, not maybe Asian women. So because of this, there's certain basics we're getting wrong, and that's why we have to go through certain steps, and that is, let us learn how to be soft to our women and be hard towards educating our men, right? And that way we can reverse things, come back from how traditional communities operate. And if that is a issue that black men wish to talk about the aesthetic choices of black women, well, then we can approach it in a more strategic way, like the economics angle, right? The economic and also how we present in the form of, well, a person can be beautiful no matter what they choose. It's just we're aware that from a historical standpoint, the Afro-centered styling has been demonized. So now we want to bring it back. And that's why we want our sisters to work with us in unison of how we can bring it back. And here's certain recommendations. And what we're going to try to do is, it's more of a discussion rather than you're ugly, or you don't respect us, or you're trying to be something you're not. What's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. I want to approach the topic in that way, right? And I'm gonna have the same conversation with the sisters about if their argument is, black men are not providers and protectors, then there's a way. But I would say this: we should grant our sisters more power than us when it comes to being more open and direct with tongue and tone, because that's just like, as men, part of our training is to be able to take that, right? And I think, unfortunately, because black men are so defeated in so many areas, that it really actually hurts a lot to hear some of these things that we are perceiving as true, right? Especially when we look at concepts of like education, and this is why I kind of like delineate with the topic, but it's a bigger topic, and that is, we're aware that black women across the board seems to be at a higher rate of education, like they're excelling. And some black men are using this as well, this is a problem because the black woman is more successful than me, and then
I don't see that. I don't see that. Nah, I mean, I think that number can be misleading, because I looked at this, I forget the guy's name, but they was doing a study on that, like it was in the black community, the black women are, more, with all the, but it's like, but they also have the highest rate of student loan debt also. So just because you ain't in college or whatever, you went to college, that don't mean, you actually graduated. So it was like, and I don't know too many men that are intimidated by a woman with.
Hold on, bro.
Huh?
I'm more talking about education. The aftermath of education is a different topic, right? How much people owe.
True.
As in
okay.
So
I get what you're saying, but I don't know any guys that's intimidated by a woman with a lot of degrees, because at the end of the day, those degrees don't make you a man.
No.
I'm still here to provide and protect.
We have to get the words right. We're talking about education, so that means education comes in many different forms. It's like your educating yourself to be able to do something, take tasks, own something, become a worker or a business owner, whatever it might be. Your education, you have to get educated in some form. Whether you study your father, or you go to a university, or you go on YouTube, right? You're studying something so you can so you know how to do something, and that's how education works. And I'm saying, rising up to the challenge of being able to do something because you set your mind to it is important, right? And that, so I'm not talking about a piece of paper. A piece of paper, it could be great, and I'm not, if you get education, that's great. But I'm talking about that kind of challenges, and like you see your women are trying to get or are getting educated, and they are getting certain kind of progression, whatever it might be. So then you match it or you bear it. That's it. As in, if your women are going to base 3, then you have to go to at least base 3 or 4. Or he maybe get a home run. I don't know, right? So that's what it is. Rather than try to critique, and some might view what you just did there as that. It's more like critique. Like, oh, they've got it, but it's not so. If they're trying to do this, we're going to match them and do better because we understand as men, it is our duty to actually be providing protectors, especially because women have less option when they become mothers and in society and those kind of stuff, right? When they can't do all the things men can do because of other priorities or whatever. And it should be like a basic that men raise to that challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. We had some, I think, on there. But yeah, but this is good. And what we have to figure out here is how do we have these conversations without triggering anxiety? And one of the strategies might be actually first, sneeze. Pardon me. What we might have to do is have a manly talk where men are talking, and then we really break down ways to communicate certain things, and then we have a womanly talk, and the women do the similar thing, where it might be right. But I think that fundamental two, that duo, that would be a good start. Like, what are the two primaries? And I suspect I know what they are, but I'm going to ask questions. But it does seem that there is a plethora of men who, when we talk about these topics, their focus isn't the primary. So the focus of the ginger thing was there was a black man screaming and shouting obscenities about a black woman, pulling her down to pull up an Asian woman. That was.
Man, come on, man. Be honest. If you watch that whole thing, man, they was talking over dude and everything, and he was just getting frustrated. I looked at, I was like, oh, so when I first saw it on your show, the clip that you showing, it was just kind of like, man, this outraged black guy just spazzing out on these women, and especially out behind the scenes or whatever. I think people focus more on behind the scenes stuff when he was hard to calm down. And so, like I said, I went back and watched it before it got to that point, and those ladies were looking for an argument. It was like they were talking, not even Ginger. It was a guy. It was a guy sitting on the very end because I think his stance was he hadn't dated anything. No, they targeted him. Actually, they was like, no, we got this question is for him because he said he don't date anything other than white women. Da 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 da. And he was like, no, that's not what I said. He said I date what is attracted to me, what comes my way. He was saying, like, I don't chase after. He said I like all women, but if a certain race of women, that find me attractive and they, approach me, I'm going to steer that way. And that was his thing. And so then they went to the ginger guy. So it was kind of like I said, they was talking over the guys and stuff like that. So they were kind of like provoking it. So it was like,
yeah. So
that's why I went back and watched it for myself.
And this is the challenge we have to do with. We thank you because you're highlighting the challenge we have to do, and that is this. The emphasis now isn't on what he actually said, right? It's more of like, well, there was a kind of like a provoking part of over speaking him that forced him to say these words or made those words more common. Let's have a look at it now, just so we can really unpack it. I think I've got it from is it 2006? Let me just check the date number. And this is important. And many black men feel the same as you, so we have to really understand the mindset so we can really unpack it, so we can get a good conversation. That's not that one. Hold on.
But the knows. Did you know what this question?
Yeah, I think.
No, here's why.
This is a clip.
No, here's why I don't date black women. Listen to me when I'm talking to you lot.
I'm listening.
Because you lot don't like to listen. I don't date black women because.
So you notice that he is the only one swearing using the foul language.
No, but you gotta go back some more. They was over talking him before he even got to this point. He was kind of like joking with them.
But did they use strong language against him? Did you notice that at all?
No, you don't gotta use strong language to provoke somebody to an argument. I mean, you just agitate them.
And that once again. So this is what
what he said to those young ladies. I'm not saying he was right, but when I went back and watched it, it was like, oh, they kind of was talking to these guys, you know.
Well, the thing is, and this is the misunderstanding that we're going to have, right? Even if they are talking over him, to then stand up aggressive and swear towards black women, we don't know any better. Just so you remember, last week I was explaining to you, the week before, that black men are collectively inadequate and haven't recovered from being conquered by white men. But and when I speak to you, I'm getting the kind of the picture paint of a similar kind of thing where we're not even aware as black men that screaming and shouting at our women in an aggressive way when yes, they've spoken too much or whatever it might be, it's not an equivalency. It's actually this is the dropping of the ball, right? Our role as men is to maintain our emotions, right? That's our, so it's like when a woman can do nothing to us, so there's no reason for us to be aggressive.
Exactly, but like I said, when it goes back to those two questions that you posed, like with the question that black men would ask the women and vice versa, whatever, you gotta listen. And they were talking over dudes. I'm not saying he's right.
But the thing is, they're talking over a person who has already lost respect for the things he was saying. But let's, what we should do is, we still got time. Let's find, because I got the video here, right? Let's see if we can find him. What's it called? It's 300 and something megabytes. It's this one. It must be this one. Hopefully it doesn't get flagged.
Women, because you don't like to get put in your place.
Which place?
Your place.
Which
and when you get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were cheating on you then.
You're not men.
That's why they were cheating on you.
Stay in your place.
They cheated on you multiple times.
Yeah, I know, because you don't like to get put in your place.
Apologies,
Listen. Apologies where? Go.
Now remember, this guy's talking to one woman.
I think it was like a little bit before that.
Yeah, no, but what it is, I've got the full thing here. So I'm gonna try to see if where he crashes out. Hold on.
And then watch this.
It might be right there.
She didn't let you finish, but could you let me finish?
No.
Okay, so I don't think we've even seen this far because we cut it.
Calm ourselves down now, because I will show you the attitude that you're looking for, because I ain't giving it to you yet. I'm on 20 right now. Don't let me give you 100, please.
Why wasn't it just response instead of reaction?
That's how women are. We like to snap and...
Not all women, but black women love to snap.
Thank you very much.
Majority of black women love to snap, innit?
White women do it too.
Again, bro, you want to go back a bit? What?
Go back about 15 to 20 seconds because they just got done talking to the guy in the white shirt, and then she was explaining why she give the attitude. Yeah.
I just need to hear reasons, attributes, because the conversation becomes elusive.
No, but okay, my preference. Yeah, why China?
The conversation becomes elusive. If we're not hearing examples or actual attributes that other women have, we're not actually walking away with learning.
Why? We want to hear why. We're gonna like it. We're gonna like it.
That's why I'm glad we asked you what your wife brings you, because then we can hear it.
Listen,
she holds you down.
All right, cool.
Why?
My preference is natural women, innit? Yeah. That's my preference, innit? Yeah. Feminine, natural women. And that goes across, innit? Yeah. So, unfortunately, if there was a woman who, and I like a woman to look a certain aesthetic and how to look a certain way, but I like it to be natural, okay? So, if we have just the way I like it to look, yeah?
What, weave? Are you talking about weave? I was
going to say, a lot of black women wear wigs, for example.
Listen, trying to get the details. No, because I want to tell you something here. That will be my preference, innit? But ultimately, if I find a woman that's attractive, and she's natural versus a black woman who is attractive and isn't natural, chances are I'm gonna go with the natural person from that, and that's just how it is.
So is weaves enhanced when you wear wigs and stuff?
That's enhancement. Right? If it's a good night, but if it's a good
BBLs and stuff like that, it's enhanced.
But it's not for. But remember, this is a personal thing. This is not about race. This is what I'm trying to say, innit? Yeah, it's just no.
China. I hear where you're coming from, my bro. I hear what you're saying, but sometimes there's some girls you've looked at and called beautiful, and they ain't completely natural, man. Now, I'm okay with it. I just hope you're okay with it.
There's issues over there when you date outside of your race too. There's issues. Two black people not the same, an African person and a Caribbean person not the same. On the face of it, we might look the same, but culturally we're too different, so we could have issues as well. I think when you date outside the race, what I was saying to him earlier on, it's more responsibility on you to teach that person, or they should want to learn the culture because they're going to be raising a black child, regardless of the semantics of mixed race or not. Society and certain people will treat them as that way, so they need to understand the detangling, the food, the culture, these things, because you have gone and given her that, and that was my thing.
So, Ginger J, right? Have you experienced any sort of like culture clash between you and your family or your partner's family? And then how does that transcend into now you raising a child together?
No, yes and no. We don't have children, no kids until we're married. No kids until we're married. So yeah, no kids yet. So no, we ain't had a culture situation in terms of the acceptance kind of thing, but then not too much, if that makes sense, or just the culture's accepting. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't because I'm black. That's because I went to prison.
And you're black.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so if black was a thing, then it wasn't been known. It hasn't been known. Do you know
I
what I'm
only
saying?
ask because a lot of times it is known that Asian people do have a stigma towards black people.
Definitely, and
then how would that transcend?
It's a very important fact there.
So
I don't know the conversations that was had over there, but the
It
whole
sounds like you're an anomaly, which is nice.
my thing was the prison thing, because I didn't go to prison for anything light. Like, I was a serious thing. So for anybody to consider me into their family, that has to be considered. And because I understand that could be a problem for any culture, because it was a bad thing. So that's the only difference that we've had culturally. Because if I was with a black woman, my prison sentence, I would have got celebrated at the barbecue.
See that? That's already see that? That's ways that he's dragging down black culture and dragging up Asian culture. He's doing it there, but we'll carry on.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
so all these things here, these could be triggering because he's self-deprecating black culture. And remember, he is the one that, I don't know if those other men have been to jail, but he has. And those women, I don't know if they've been to jail, but he has. So that's something that he's doing, but let's carry on.
Please don't say that, so not in my family. Oh. Maybe in your family, it's acceptable to go to prison. Oh. But in my family, even just getting arrested and getting NFA is inappropriate. Please make it clear. It's your family that thinks it's normal. My family doesn't think it's normal. Thank you.
I can't handle this. What did you go to prison for?
Huh?
What did you go to prison for? I can't handle it. It's too much. What did you go to prison for?
Gab, it's not on camera.
Yeah, like drive.
Outside of the...
Okay, sorry.
Hi, Darrell.
Hey, Darrell.
Hey, Darrell. Hey, everyone. So my question is for Ginger J again. I have two questions. My first question is, the things that kept happening with the black women, what made you think it was a race thing?
I didn't.
But you now date outside your race because of it?
Yeah.
Or did I get that wrong?
Not just because of that.
Okay, so what is it then?
It's just a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Attitude.
It sounds like you hate black women. I'm sorry.
I hate black women.
Yeah, it sounds
Does
not
it sound
that
like
you
I hate my mum?
Not that you hate black
Do
women.
we have time to go in?
Do you know what's annoying about Cookie? Cookie applauded. With the rest of the women, they was applauding. And then it turns into, it sounds like I hate black women, but you just applauded the black woman I was talking about. Sounds like somebody hates themselves.
Why does it sound like I hate?
Yeah, because what do you mean attitude?
I don't. All right, watch that.
What, did I give attitude just now?
Me, I don't know.
Did I give him attitude just now?
I think you did.
I didn't give any attitude.
A little bit.
Because from the...
Oh, I feel like you hate black women now.
Do you see why I said that?
What do you mean?
Do you see why I said that? What do you mean I have attitude? I'm even smiling with you. What's with the mimicking? When did I ever do this? Like, let's calm ourselves down now, because I will show you the attitude that you're looking for, because I ain't giving it to you yet. I'm on 20 right now. Don't let me give you 100, please.
Why wasn't it just response instead of reaction?
That's how women are. We like to snap and...
Not all women, but black women love to snap.
Thank you very much.
Majority of black women love to snap, innit?
White women do it too.
Majority of black women love to snap, and white women love to follow black women. Disagree with me.
It's a black thing to be animated.
Yeah, and kick your fingers.
I never said there's nothing wrong with sassy. But here's what I do love. I love a woman to stay feminine.
So I'm not feminine?
No, not when you get angry. And not when you get
not angry
attitude.
though.
Your mum has no sass, yeah?
I'm so confused.
Your mum has no sass? whatsoever?
My mum will box everything down.
So,
but I don't like it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Do you understand it now? Just because my mum does it doesn't mean that I fucking like it.
She's the only one.
Just because, are you lot listen to what you're saying? Just because my mum raised me and was sassy doesn't mean I liked it.
When your wife is upset or when she's like angry, does she ever
can have
speak,
all the attitude
does she ever speak like, I don't know, she's Indian, so I'm assuming she might speak Gujarati. Does she speak Gujarati when she's mad at you?
She can do whatever she wants when she's mad at me. She's mad at me.
So it's okay when she can do, but not when black
And
people
did I say it wasn't okay?
I feel like his wife kind of.
They not even. It's like he ain't even getting a chance to answer one question. Like before he can open his mouth, somebody else got a question. Well, we assume that you hate. It's like, bro.
Well, the question they're asking is quite interesting one about when you're Asian. They're saying when your Asian girlfriend gets angry, do they speak in their language? It looks like they're trying to paint a picture of that the Asian woman is doing a similar thing, but in a culturally different way, right? And he just said it doesn't bother him when she gets angry. That's what he said, right? Which is interesting. So I don't know if he's still feminine when he does it. And I think they're now intrigued because ultimately he has made the statement that he doesn't want to be with black women, he wants to be with Asian women. He's made that statement. So the black women are now intrigued by this behavior.
Right. So instead of them just hearing them out and like, okay, why does he think like this? It's like, oh, well, so you must hate your mother. You know, they said that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
the thing is, he
was just trying to explain.
He hates his mother's ways. He has said that.
Yeah, his ways. Right. Know what I'm saying? So it's like they're not even trying to hear him out.
Well,
yeah.
For some reason or for whatever he's experienced, his wife has the upper hand now. So whatever his wife wants to do, whether she wants to shout at him in Gujarati, give him attitude, cuss him, call him whatever she wants to call him, in whatever she speaks, Punjabi or Gujarati, he's cool with it.
This is a very good analysis because we were talking about today, and this is this concept where when you have an internal bias towards a particular group or your own group, you will take less from them and more from others. You see? So this sister is trying to articulate that, and he, in other words, has said the same thing prior to this message, and that's why I guess they pull it here.
It's fine because I feel like he's accepted her and he's accepted his fate. But when it comes to any other woman, especially a black woman, like his mum, he don't like it. He's mad. Like it's just not allowed.
But you said attitude earlier.
Let me finish.
Ladies, you know you're proving his point.
So here's what we're not
going to give a shit.
No, but I'm saying but you're proving his point. Like.
I don't give a heck.
Wait. Let me say something.
That's not my man.
No, let me talk. Ladies, please.
And he likes my attitude.
Come on, please.
Watch this. No, wait. Watch this. You just triggered me a little bit because you did something that all the other black women used to do. You asked me a question. You didn't let me answer it, and then you said you don't give a shit.
I don't though. That's the truth.
I know you don't. So what's the point of the conversation?
Because to me, your point is invalid.
And then what's the point of me?
I don't care.
So why would I
answer.
keep dating
That's why.
you? So wait, no. So why would I keep dating you?
No, but me is me as.
So why would I keep dating you?
I know all the black women out there.
What does it sound like? What does it sound like?
All of the black women over the couple
What
of
does it
black
sound
women
like?
you dated.
Darrell was right.
You just proved the point.
You proved Darrell's point.
Hello, can we hear from Darrell?
What does it sound like?
To me, it does sound like a little bit of a race thing. But don't kill me.
It is a race thing. I don't date black women. I stopped dating you for a reason. Stop trying to say that what I didn't say.
They want to know the reason.
I told you the reason.
He already said the reason.
I told you the reason.
He said the reason already.
Listen, here's what we're not doing. We're not going around it.
Let her finish. So can you let me finish?
Let me upset you. Let me. Pardon?
You said that she didn't let you finish. But could you let me finish?
No, I ain't got time for it no more.
So whether you're seeing that when the brother is triggered, he has this blanketing behavioral pattern towards all women, black women in general. This is the first time I've seen it this far, so we're kind of listening. And you got some the American black man not acknowledge this is wild. This is why these types of black men go to jail and cannot function well.
Get that. You had your chance. And watch this. Hey, watch this.
So the woman asking the question is not on the panel. She's mainly asking from an audience standpoint. So the behavior pattern, I don't think is warranted. I don't think any behavior pattern is warranted, but particularly that because he like the spatial awareness of thinking that I'm here on TV and I'm making a statement about black women, and now I'm now acting very hostile and dismissive to all black women because of a perceived answer by one. Yeah, this is not going to work well, as we know, because we've seen where this ends up.
Watch this. You see, if we was having a conversation, because you was talking perfectly fine, no attitude, and you was delegating yourself perfectly fine, and then black attitude happened.
That's me.
So watch this, and then watch this, and then watch this.
Black attitude.
Watch this. So then that's so that means
So white women don't snap. Indian women don't snap. They're not angry. It's only us black women. They play.
Conversation is done, and I address it.
To her defense, because it's not a race thing, it's a women thing.
Here's why I don't date black women. Nah, I did that. You want to? No. Here's why I don't date black women. Listen to me when I'm talking to you lot.
I'm listening.
Because you lot don't like to fucking listen.
I'm listening.
I don't date black women because you don't like to get put in your place.
Which place?
Your place.
Which
and when you get put in your place, you think you got taught like a man.
That's why they were cheating on you then.
You're not men.
That's why they were cheating on you.
Stay in your fucking place.
That's why they cheated on you multiple times.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I know. And that's why I'm never going to be in your proper ever again. I'm not with black women because you don't like to get put in your place.
Apologies,
listen.
So this is now personal between him and this woman, yeah. And first of all, his language is way off kilter, right? Especially for the show, for the delivery, and this sister seems to be responding not like for like, but she's clearly triggered and whatever it might be, and both of them are triggered, right?
Right.
Yeah, clearly, but he's gone way off, and he's gone way off before this, and the issue with men we have to say now is if as men if we believe that this is an okay reaction to have under any circumstances towards women, then we failed as men. And we failed as men because as men, you should be able to control the scenario much easier than this. And if they're not listening, then you can do your own thing and leave. Yeah, or just talk to the guys or just move on. Right? But to crash out publicly and then include all black women, and then there's a sister who's asking, her job is just to ask questions from the audience, and you just say, yeah, well, I'm going to ignore you. That really shows you that you're bothered by what this one individual black woman is doing, and you've blanketed across all other black women, but yet you have said that your Asian woman can do no wrong even when she's angry, and that you're aware that.
But his point was the Asian woman ain't gonna snap off or whatever. And the first thing they were like, well, white women do. White women they mock what black women do. So it's like white women don't go around doing the gestures like that to their husbands or whatever. Only black women. And it was just like even when he was talking to him, even the guy next to him, like, yeah, y'all are kind of giving the attitude. Y'all ain't even let him answer the question. But Ray, I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree, man. But
no, this is important, Jeff. The reason it's important because the way you feel is there's multiple men who feel similar, right? And it's about trying to really correct, because we could do the marginalization and dismissing techniques, but I think there's a miscommunication between black women, certain black men and certain black women, right? And I think I understand where it's coming from. The only difference is I feel that there is a big missing piece of who is meant to lead in a community group. And if it's meant to be the men, that means at no point can you do what this man is doing. That's just what it is. At no point, like there is no scenario where you watch a video or a footage and you see this and you think, yeah, they're both wrong. You're always going to go, if the woman is not screaming and shouting and using obscenities, and you are, and you're the man, and then your way of talking is all black women, and their way of talking is about him, then he's already lost. He's already lost. There's no way. No one can co-sign his behavior plan.
Apologies where?
Apologies.
Oh wait, you just wait. Did she just shoot? Did she just shoot?
Also, the behavior pattern of the men is also important because none of the men are trying to fix the situation, try to get some stability. If anything, they're egging on or just ignoring, or just doing the whole comedy face kind of stuff like this gentleman here, right? And this is another thing about men, isn't it? Like, so you have to lead. Someone has to be the referee or the fixer of a situation. You can't have men arguing with women. Oh, this man arguing with women.
Go. Where's your hair? Where's your hair? Where's your hair?
Once you talk about black women's hair, you're on your own, my guy. You're on your own. I was with you. Like, he's allowed to have.
So here's a preference.
I have a preference.
So remember, it's very important for this show that the main form of this show is connecting preference to internalized hatred, right? Internalized racism. It's very important because this concept of preference look at the world it's coming from. We understand that a lot of these gentlemen on the show, they have a history of anti-black racism on their channels, as in like wanting the world to know they love the daughters of white men and they don't love black women. Like a lot of these men, that's their whole thing. And in that kind of context, they have a preference. But we've just shown back-to-back videos of children who let you know as kids that they are. It is a fact that black people are ugly and white people are beautiful. It's a fact. The kids let you know this. And then we see how women are treated in workspaces and in hospitals and stuff, where there is still this kind of marginalization. So we understand that internalized racism might be something that every black person deals with on some percentage. So then to have in that context black men in high mass saying preference, it's problematic behavior.
You know, he's trying to talk about how she's held him down and picking up his Asian queen. But the moment you went for the hair, my guy, you was on your own. You're gonna have to deal with it. Yeah. You're gonna have to deal with this by yourself, my brother. Take off your head,
triggered.
Where's your hair?
You're triggered.
Where's your hair? I'm triggered. I said I was triggered. Did I not say I was triggered? Where's your hair?
No.
Where's your hair?
Looking ass nigga about where's your hair?
Show me your hair.
No, he's
Show me your hair.
pressed. He's
Show me your hair.
pressed.
Take off your eyelash. Take off your eyelash.
You're pressed.
Take off your makeup.
You're pressed because you got cheated on 1, 2, 3, 4.
Where? Watch
1,
this.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Jumping.
And I'll bring my natural hair Indian woman in here now.
And then what?
she looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on your blood.
But the crowd got silent. The crowd
out
got
here
silent.
with fake hair, fake
The crowd got
eyelashes.
silent.
You, my fair lady, haven't even had your legs open wide enough yet to even think you can speak to a man like me. So, a bit of advice. Go put your legs on some shoulders. Go swing from some chandeliers. Go get some life experience. And then come back and see me.
No blood, no.
Yeah, so he doesn't know he's in crash out mode. You see, he doesn't know he's in crash out mode. And he doesn't know that everything he's saying will be used against him. And he unfortunately, if you're as young as him in your 30s and you've been in jail 11 years, then you don't have life experience yourself. And if you've come out and you're acting this way, this is a demonstration of that. What SO Rap Raven fam, big up. Yeah, we're gonna end soon. We're going past the time. But let's just quickly.
I don't date black women because of this.
Didn't eat.
You didn't understand me. You didn't want to accept the fact that I said it. I'm triggered.
Cap in the
I told you, don't get me on a fucking show. I don't date black women. Not watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many of you have got your hair on? None of you. Shut up.
So look what he's doing. He's now attacking black women as a whole. They're not attacking black men as a whole. They're not even attacking his unique stuff as a whole. They're talking about,
I get it. At this point, it's got out of hand. You know, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, this point should never exist from men.
Right.
Especially where your backup weapon is, I've married an Indian woman who I'm aware don't like me, and there's some issues with me marrying them, but you know, and she can do no wrong when she's angry. It's not an issue, but it's an issue when you do it to the point where the black woman asking question is going to then be ignored, and now the black women in the audience are now going to be pointed at and discriminated against because of their fashion choices.
I date natural women.
You pissed off the gingerbread man. Calm down. You're 4 foot. You're not scaring anybody. Sit the fuck down.
I don't know why this guy's crashing out so much.
I date natural women. I date natural women.
This is a criticism of the men. Yeah, you could have all in unison tried to calm him down and educate him and move to the side. It's not a good look from black men in that scenario.
Shut up.
Didn't he?
Shut up. I'm not talking.
Got a big man press.
I'm pressed. I press Indian girl. I'm definitely pressed. Like your hair. I'm pressed like your hair.
A lot is going on right now. Too many people are triggered. I'm not just going to put it on Ginger. The girls, like, everyone's triggered right now. Can you see my popcorn?
The thing is, they don't understand how these topics can really cause big issues in the black community. And that's why we need to set up a scenario where we have that two talk. So we're going to leave it now. Thanks for making us do this. I'm going to remove that because we have to end. I have to go do some stuff.
Okay.
But these two topics here of we're gonna have to see if we can get these done, because obviously there's a mismatch or a misunderstanding of communication and expectation, and we'll be talking to each other. Any last words, Brother Jeff, before we go?
No, I just want to say thanks for having me on, man. I enjoy these conversations and looking into it. Like I said, with all this going on over here with this, like I said, this racism, internalized racism. Like I said, it goes back years, and we have to look at how we've been indoctrinated. Like I said, when you showed the videos about the children choosing the black or the white doll, I think I commented was saying, like, I grew up in the 80s. And so excellence, perfection, and beauty, that's all you saw on the commercial was like white women or white people or whatever. So it's like, that's all the kids saw. So they saw and they had to choose a choice. Like, okay, I'm gonna choose the white dog. Like, why not the black dog? It's ugly, or it's this, or it's that. So yeah, it's a lot we got to deal with, man. We got a lot of praying to do, and it's just like all this division, this and this, prejudice and internalized racism. It's there. You got to be aware of it. And like I said, just this Charlie Kirk situation just kind of like opened my eyes to people around me that I was like, wow, I didn't know they thought this way until a person that's basically a spokesperson for you gets gunned down. It's like, wow. And you just look at it as, well, they killed him because he had a different opinion. Like, no, he was spewing hate. But yeah, keep it up, man. I was just chiming in. So I always enjoy the topic.
Well, thanks for joining, Brother Jeff, and for those listening, we'd like to see you guys next week as well. We're going to unpack more of this 2 questions, because we're going to try to find a way to have black people, black men and black women communicate and find solutions. Very important, because it's obviously a triggering topic and stuff. So for those who practice black betterment, know you're important. And for those who don't, know you're loved. Until next week, everyone, black betterment to all, and to all black betterment. See you there. Thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye and good day. Good night.